Hey all, welcome back. Many viewers have been requesting a workshop tour, so today we'll be doing just that. For context, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment with a rather spacious balcony. The spare bedroom became a studio and the balcony was turned into a workshop. The studio consisted of 2 main stations, the desk setup and what I like to call the clean workshop. Let's start each project where it begins, right here at the desk. I recently updated my desk setup, which was documented in the video linked. Since publishing of the video, I've used the top shelf to hold battery chargers and extra camera gear. Brainstorming ideas, research, concept sketching, and 3D modeling all happen here. This is where the new setup has been great, as the large worktop allows me to have multiple things going on at the same time. I frequently switch between 3D modeling and hand sketches using real parts as reference. The adjustable height desk also keeps my posture in check. This is one of my favorite stages of a project as I get to explore my creative freedom. As you can imagine, a significant portion of time is spent here before I cut even a single piece of wood. Which brings me to the sponsor of this video, FlexiSpot. They reached out to me about a month ago to review their C7 ergonomic chair. While I was already happy with my existing chair, I was interested to try the FlexiSpot C7 as it has so many points of adjustments. Tilt and height headrest, 4-position backrest, seat length adjust for anyone with longer legs, seat tilt, and one of the standout features was the large lumbar support. The support has slight adjustability and conforms nicely to my back. Another cool feature is the pull-out footrest, which allows for a relaxed position in between work sessions. The main features I like are the prominent lumbar support and integrated leg rest to relax after a long day. In saying that, there are certainly some points of feedback I would like to bring up. Firstly, the minimum height of the chair is quite tall, and at its lowest setting, my legs are just able to be at 90 degrees. If your leg bottoms are shorter than 46 cm, I think the chair would be too tall for you. Next is the lumbar support. While I did end up liking it in the end, it did take the first week of usage to get used to it. It could be improved with a wider adjustment range for others that prefer less support. Lastly, it would have been great to also have some horizontal adjustment for the headrest. I sometimes find it positioned too far back and I would have to lean backwards to get the support needed. So what's my verdict? I'd say overall the chair does provide good value in this segment. For more information about the chair, check out the links down below. And for now, let's get back to the tour. At a certain stage of the project, I find myself needing to create something physical to either test material strength or design assumptions. This is when we head to the workshop. And by that, I mean my balcony. A quick rewind to 2021. This area started off with just a simple workbench. I used to only be able to film out here in the day as I had not invested in any studio lights. As my collection of tools grew, I started to run out of space to keep them neatly. Purchase of the drill press was the turning point as I really needed somewhere to keep it permanently. That's when I built the secondary workbench with pegboard storage. As there are no AC plugs on the balcony, the equipment is powered by an extension cord from the living room. Couple of LED bars on the ceiling illuminate the work area. I also updated my original workbench earlier this year, documented in this video linked. It now has a drawer storage where I keep stuff like extra drill bits and my CNC bits along with sanding paper I need. Under the drawer, there's a large compartment to store less used items like paint, varnish, and certain tools like a nail gun. Either side of the bench has pegboards for even more tool storage. Onto the secondary bench. I built it to fit over the AC unit on the balcony. As I mentioned, the drill press was the main trigger for needing this secondary bench. The large pegboard backing provides plenty of storage for frequently used tools such as files, drill bits, router bits, jigsaw, rulers, hammers, and more. There are a couple of large hooks on the side to hang the circular saw and the router. This mini sander also comes in useful during my projects. A large MDF sheet is placed on the AC unit as a shelf for my dustpan and chisels. This MDF panel also doubles as an extension table for my drill press when I need to drill larger parts. A couple of clamps onto the existing surface and it's ready to be used. To finish off, under this bench there is a bucket for scrap wood and a fire extinguisher just in case. When I got my X2 laser, I promptly built an enclosure for it with fume extraction included. This is positioned close to the edge of the balcony, so it needed to be protected using a tarp. Then I got the Enolex 3030 CNC, which also needed an enclosure for sound insulation purposes. I built this enclosure using marine ply and applied several coats of varnish to make it weather resistant. The dust collector is housed beneath with sound insulation as well. Last but not least, I keep a large piece of cardboard around to use as a spray painting backdrop. When most of the dirty work is done, we come back in here where we'll swing over to what I call the clean workshop. This consists of an old study table with a pegboard backing similar to the one earlier. A studio light provides diffuse light and there's an extra light panel for detailed work. Tools kept here include a soldering iron, smaller files, voltmeter, various pliers, cutters and crimp tools, a utility knife and a heat gun as well. As you can guess, this area is reserved for the jobs that don't create as much mess, like creating custom cables, electronics, detail painting, and small filing jobs. Right next to the desk is my Prusa Mark III printer in an IKEA cabinet. I upgraded to this printer earlier this year and it has made a world of difference. It is so easy to print parts without having to fine-tune profiles and do bed leveling each time. I highly recommend looking for a second-hand unit if you're just starting in the 3D printing space. So that's basically the tour of my makerspace. I clearly didn't go into detail for every single tool and equipment I have, as that would make for a very long video. However, if you're interested in something like that, or maybe even my recommendations for the first tools you need to get started into PC case building, drop a like down in the comments below and I might consider doing something like that. Another shout out to FlexiSpot for letting me review their C7 chair, which I have been enjoying so far. Do check them out for yourself in the links down below. As always, thank you all for watching to the end and I'll see you in the next one.